presentation is supported by our regional water supplier, Tarrant Regional Water District. TRWD maintains 4 area lakes and pipelines needed to provide surface water to local water treatment plants so they can clean it to meet drinking water standards for our communities. They also work with many cities in Tarrant County, such as Fort Worth, Arlington, and Mansfield, to provide water conservation programs for the community. Conservation is an important water supply strategy to help meet the needs of a growing population. There are currently 2.3 million people in Tarrant County, and this is expected to double over the next 50 years. This is why TRWD supports many programs that help save water through outdoor watering and gardening education. At SaveTarrantWater.com, you can sign up for free weekly watering advice custom to your location. If you are a resident of Tarrant County, you can sign up for a free sprinkler system checkup where a licensed irrigator comes to your home and provides a comprehensive evaluation of your system with recommendations to reduce water waste. There is also an event calendar where you can find important information about future classes and workshops. TRWD also partners with organizations like Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service and the Tarrant County Master Gardeners to provide educational programs just like this one. Be sure to check out SaveTarrantWater.com and sign up for their free services.
Presentations about poinsettias and euphorbias. And probably everybody knows this plant. However, do you know this plant? This poinsettia is grown in Mexico, and they can get to 13 feet. And how do you pronounce it? Do you say poinsettia or poinsettia? Actually, either one is correct. Poinsettia is Euphorbia pulcherrima. Pulcherrima means very beautiful in Latin. And it comes from Taxco del Alarcon in Mexico, near Mexico City. And there they bloom in the winter. The Aztecs used poinsettias for a purple dye for clothes and cosmetics. The milky white sap was made into a medicine to treat fevers. The question is it poisonous? It is not poisonous, but it is toxic. If you get that sap, in your eye or something like that, it causes some burning. The history of the poinsettia, how did it end up here? In 1825, President John Quincy Adams appointed Joel Roberts Poinsett as the first minister to Mexico. He sent some of the plants back to South Carolina, grew them, and shared the plants with his friends. He was also one of the founders of the Smithsonian. He died there's actually in December 12th, he was a doctor, actually, an amateur botanist, and this plant was named after him. He was first introduced the plant into the U.S. in 1828. He died on December 12th, 1851, and that was declared as a National Poinsettia Day, December 12th. Now, whether they still recognize that or not, I'm not sure. They are the best-selling potted plant in the United States. They are sold in the wintertime, and they come in many different colors. If you look at the poinsettia, would you say, well, does it have flowers? And yes, it does. They're in the very center of the plant. It has a characteristic inflorescence. It's called a cyatheme, and that's very typical of all the spurges in Euphorbia. It resembles a single flower. It consists of a cup-shaped involucre. An involucre is like the cap on on an acorn that falls from the tree. It's called a cup flower also. The genus Euphorbia is also in the spurge family, and you'll probably find some spurge plants in your yard because there are a lot of weeds that are spurges. As mentioned, it's called a cup flower, is the inflorescence. It has no petals or sepals, and it's monoecious, meaning both sexes are available on the plant. They have modified leaves. They're called the bracts. They all have a sticky white latex-like sap in the stem. Some people might be allergic to that sap. It is not poisonous. However, if you get that sap and were to touch your eye, you could probably get some burning to your eye. It wouldn't cause any permanent injury. The genus has over 2,000 members, making it one of the largest genera of flowering plants. And how are they grown? I'm going to show a short video on how that happens.
The poinsettia is one of the most popular flowering indoor plants worldwide. Every year, over 100 million plants are sold in Europe alone. To provide sufficient plants at the beginning of the season, production starts every spring. Poinsettias are grown out of cuttings. Young leafed branches are being cut off so-called mother plants. These plants are purebred, particularly beautiful and lusciously grown poinsettias. Every year from May onwards, the first cuttings are taken from the mother plants and planted into a special earth to generate root growth. The cuttings are irrigated and sheltered for the next 3 to 4 weeks in a warm climate similar to their Mexican origin. After root growth is complete, the young plants are replanted into their final pots. Time and pot size depend on the desired final size of the plants. Large plants, such as high-stemmed and bush poinsettias, are already being repotted in May. Normal-sized ones between June and August, and the so-called minis in September. Temperatures between 16 and 20 degrees centigrade, consistent humidity and frequent fertilizing are the ideal growing conditions for young poinsettias over the next months. The dark phase commences 7 to 9 weeks before the start of the season. Black foil and time switches create an artificial short day for the plants. To generate flowers and colourful upper foliage, the poinsettias need 12 hours darkness per day for the next 50 days. During their last greenhouse phase, the poinsettias grow to their desired size and form out their characteristic star-shaped, colourful upper foliage, along with inconspicuous little buds. Brilliant reds, elegant creams, glowing pinks, or a delicate rose create the specific poinsettia glamour and ambience. You will find more information on www.xmas-star.info.
Okay. This is a picture of the greenhouse at the Fort Worth Botanic Garden. This picture was taken in 2011, and they were able to propagate all these poinsettias in that conservation greenhouse in the Botanic Garden. As you can tell, these ladies are very thrilled to see all of this. They were some of my classmates. Here's another picture showing some more of the different varieties. Again, look how big and tall some of those get. Okay. Now this is the Ecke family. In 1909, a German immigrant, Albert Ecke, moved with his 5-year-old son to the LA area to farm fruit and vegetables. They also dabbled in flowers and a shrub with brilliant red bracts, which attracted their attention. To sell the poinsettia, they called it the Christmas flower and convinced growers to grow the plant. After all, not many plants bloom in the winter. In 1923, they were muscled out of Hollywood, so Paul Ecke Sr. moved to Encinitas, where he turned it into the best potted plant in America. At their peak, they commanded 90% of the American poinsettia market. Ecke Jr. took over the reins in 1960, promoted the plants on TV and in magazines. He also joined Carson on one of the Tonight shows and ate some of the leaves just to show that it wasn't toxic. Poinsettias were always seen on the shows at Christmas time. And he was also able to develop a secret way to make the plants tougher and have more blooms. Paul Ecke III took over the ranch in 1992 and started the business in Guatemala. He sold the company to Drummond Orange in 2012. They never sold directly to consumers. Their business was developing and getting a patent on new varieties, growing cuttings of those varieties, and selling them to the growers is what they did. And at one time, they had 50+% of the market.
And I'm out here in gorgeous Encinitas, California. I'm at the Duman Group Poinsettia Open House, and the Ecke and Red Fox brands are showing off their 2015 poinsettia programs. We're going to focus here on the Ecke products. Ecke, as you probably know, was the single-handed major force behind making poinsettias what they are today for the holiday season. Way back when, they started off with just a little street stand in the Southern California markets, and they sold these great big cut-off, tall, 6-foot stalks of poinsettias. And it's amazing how they've transformed over the years from those tall, gangly plants to these gorgeous, compact, V-shaped potted plants that we're used to selling to our customers. I had a chance to meet up with Ruth Kobayashi, one of the world's leading experts on poinsettia breeding, and there she is. The first group I'm going to review is the Premier series, and we'll start with the red, which, as you can see, is gorgeous. Some of the interesting points about the Premier series are that it's relatively early. It's got a 7-week reaction time. They're all very nice and compact. You have a nice dark foliage that contrasts with the great colors. Comes in 4 colors. We'll see them all here. Started with the red. The Premier White is a really nice white. One of the other things that we talked about with Premier is that they do thrive in high density production, and they can also be cold grown. There's also Premier Pink. Another point about the colors being so vivid, they do pop even with lower light finishing. Jingle Bells is the 4th member of the Premier series, and it's got a really nice red with pink flakes kind of coloration to the bracts. All 4 Premiers are top sellers. Prestige Burgundy is a new variety joining the other 3 top sellers in the Prestige series. It has beautiful burgundy bracts, as you can see here. A couple of things to note about Prestige. It's a really tough series. It has a very strong V-shaped architecture. It's really great for high density production. And again, Burgundy is just a gorgeous new addition. Jingle Bell Rock is a new mid-season novelty, and wow, this one's very striking. Hank Garland has nothing on this variety, that's for sure. Gorgeous, dramatic bracts, exciting colorations, really deep green foliage that creates a nice contrast. I think this is going to be a really nice addition. Here's another mid-season novelty, Red Glitter. It has a striking resemblance, of course, to the new Jingle Bell Rock, although in this case the white portions of the red bracts are much smaller and a little more subtle than the bursts of white on Jingle Bell Rock. Still, this has been a traditional top seller for Eckie, and you can see why. Peppermint Ruffles is a new early season specialty. It has a fairly early 7.5 week reaction time. It's very vigorous, and it's got a very nice sort of speckled pattern of peppermint ruffled leaves. It's going to be really good for pre-Thanksgiving sales. Autumn Leaves is another new one, has a spectacular color. Again, a 7.5 week reaction time, more compact than Peppermint Ruffles, but the color, this golden peachy color of Autumn Leaves is a very, very nice novelty. We mentioned Prestige earlier when we were showing the new Burgundy, but I thought it would be good for you all to see the red variety. Again, a top seller from the Eckie line. And just as a refresher, the Prestige line are all relatively later mid-season varieties. The red is an 8.5 week reaction time with medium vigorous growth. One of my favorites in the Eckie line is Polar Bear. It's one of the mid-season novelties, and Polar Bear's been around. It's a top seller. It has a nice light green leaf color, which contrasts nicely with the white bracts. It's important to note that over the years, Eckie has done a lot to support the actual polar bear population in the Arctic through sales of this product. We're looking here at the Enduring series. 4 colors make up the group. Pink, red, white, and marble all are 8.5 week reaction time varieties featuring medium compact growth. One of the great things about this is the bract shape. It's very lovely bracts, and it's also a good choice if you want to build combinations with a poinsettia because it is very uniform and it has that nice compact habit. Jubilee is another top-selling series for Eckie, and it's really difficult to imagine holidays without the beauty of this type of poinsettia. It's very adaptable, it has a strong branching habit, and comes in a wide range of color options from pink to red and white, and then its nice speckled Jingle Bells variety. Jubilee features minimal heat delay and has fantastic retail presence. So that's the end of my quick tour at Eckie at the Poinsettia Open House that Dubin Group held. If you wanted to get more details after looking at this video, just look through the catalog from Eckie because it has all the details right there. Plus, it shows many of the other varieties that they offer. What I showed you here today was really just scratching the surface. See you soon.
There are some poinsettia facts that are interesting. During the 6 or 8 weeks of the holidays, 70 to 80 million plants were sold. A 50-pound child could eat 500 leaves before starting to get a stomachache. No one has been able to produce a blue poinsettia. There's an old Mexican legend tells the story of a little girl so poor she cannot afford to buy anything to offer to her church's nativity scene. Refusing to go empty-handed, she plucks a handful of tangled weeds from the side of the road. To her surprise, they miraculously bloomed into dazzling red and green poinsettias at the baby Jesus' feet. Did you know that we have 4 native poinsettias in the state of Texas? This is one of the varieties. This is called Euphorbias cythophora. It's also called Fire on the Mountain, Forest poinsettia, painted poinsettia. We have that in our school garden. Pam Brock has a very shady yard, just like I do, and she found this plant and she shared it with us. It is an aggressive plant, but it does add a little color and it does well in the shade. So if you want some extra color, that's one. To get it, you're not going to find it at a store. You'd have to get it kind of as a pass-along plant. This one you might commonly see as a weed. This is Euphorbia dentata, also known as a green poinsettia or tooth spurge. You can see the little dentations on the leaves. But if you look at the center, you can see that this cyathium or cup flower, is right in the center, very typical of all the other poinsettias. I haven't seen any lately, but I used to get it every year. Maybe the winters have kept it from being able to come back. This is Euphorbia bicolor. It's also known as snow on the prairie. And as you can tell, it has beautiful color. There's also a Euphorbia marginata, which is snow on the mountain. This is seen more likely in the hill country. You can tell that the leaves on this one are a little bit broader than the ones on the snow on the prairie. One thing you don't want, or cattle people wouldn't want, is to have this on their pastures and have the cattle eat these plants, because if they do, they could burn their mouth and probably their stomach some, and they might quit eating. So that's the one downside. At one time, we had these at our demo garden. Okay. I'm going to send you a list of the more of some poinsettia facts and how to care for them. I'm going to go through some of the things that are important. When you first get it, if it has that foil wrapped around it, you need to punch holes in the bottom or take it off, because the foil wrapping impedes drainage and holds water, and that can cause the roots to rot. You need to keep the plants out of the hot or cold drafts. Excessively heat or dry air from heating ducts, appliances will reduce the quality of the plant. They cannot tolerate cold or rapidly changing temperatures. Keep the plant near temperatures remain above 60 degrees. 65 to 70 degrees is ideal. Place the plant in good light, but not direct sun. They do use a moderate amount of water and should be checked daily. Make sure the soil remains moist, but not overwater. Apply a standard house fertilizer once per month, beginning in the end of December. And when you're looking for a plant and you're getting ready to purchase one, you don't want to see those flowers. You want them to still be closed, because once those flowers fully open, the bracts will start dying. And as I mentioned, you will get a copy of the purchasing of the poinsettia, and also on how to regrow them if you're interested in putting some in your yard. Okay, and that's all I have.